All right, hello. Today in this video, we're just gonna break down the basic Sun Salute A or Surya Namaskar. This is a classic sequence of poses that most teachers throw into their yoga flows in a modern class. And the problem is that sometimes they just cue, all right, do a few sun salutes, but a lot of people don't know exactly what that encompasses, nor do they get to spend enough time on each of the poses to make sure they're doing it properly. So in this video, we're gonna break it down first in the first sequence. I'm gonna give you different ways that you can modify, make it easier and harder for you. And then after that, I'm just gonna guide you through a few rounds so you can start to get the memory of the poses in their order into your heads. So when you're ready to begin, go ahead and come to this top of your mat here for Tadasana. Typically in Tadasana, you're standing at the top of your mat and you're really trying to root your feet into the ground, spreading your toes, activating your legs, lifting the knees, drawing the thighs up, hips active, belly active, chest and shoulders. Everything's trying to find a nice, neutral, straight position. You don't want to make it too forced, maybe about 80% of your effort, but what you're trying to do is just correct that posture. So in general, you can imagine there's 3 wheels on the body. Your shoulders are rolling backwards because most of the time ours are rolling forward, so roll those backwards. But what happens when those roll backwards, because a lot of us are tight, is those ribs start to jolt out. So now here, imagine like there's a wheel rolling forward where the rib cage is coming in. This is reaching back, this is reaching in. From here now, our hips, typically, a lot of us like to let our butt stick back, creating this big angle here. So for us, that means our wheel is gonna roll backwards, straightening out that angle. If you're someone who tends to be more like Steve Urkel, has a big arch in the back, then your wheel would be straightening you out to find that neutral position. So here, Tadasana. This is an exhale. A big part of your sun salutes is integrating your breath with the movements, integrating the mind and the body together. That's what makes yoga different than a typical exercise among a lot of other aspects of the practice. So from Tadasana here, you inhale up into Urdhva Hastasana or upward salute. You're really lengthening the body again. Try not to let the hips drop out, the rib cage pull in. You're keeping them active. Still keeping that Tadasana in the body, except the hands are up and into the air. Some people like to opt for a back bend here to get a nice front body opening. If your back and spine are healthy enough for that, definitely go ahead and feel free to do that. From here, you exhale into Uttanasana or a forward fold. If it's early in the morning, you might want to pedal those legs out before you drop your head down. Eventually here, you're coming into your forward fold. What happens a lot of the times is if you're not flexible enough for this, you'll lock out the knees and the hips and you kind of just fold forward and you feel a big strain in the low back. So if you feel it here, bend your knees a little bit, shift your weight forward so it's not all in your heels, and then now let your head and your arms hang down. You should start to feel it in the back of the legs more than just the back. If you still feel it in the back, bend those knees even more. Hang forward even more until you feel it opening up the thighs. So from Uttanasana, which was an exhale, you inhale halfway up into Ardha Uttanasana or half forward fold. Here the goal is to straighten out that spine again. So imagine like your hip bone is reaching back, your tailbone almost. Your head is reaching forward, lengthening that spine away. So we're not folding, we're not reaching up. We're finding a nice neutral position like our Tadasana. As you exhale again, you come down to the mat. Depending on the teacher, they might cue you to jump straight back into Chaturanga, which is the classical pose. Others will have you do a step back into a plank or a jump back into a plank, okay? Whichever you decide. From here, you'll exhale and inhale if you're doing the plank because your Chaturanga comes on the exhale. For a Chaturanga, a lot of people teach it differently. I like to cue it all in one big fluid motion where the feet aren't lifting and coming off. So you would shift forward till your toes turn over, which then when you bend that 90, you come into your Chaturanga. From here, you inhale and you come into your Cobra position. For a lot of us, that's gonna be really advanced. So if that's you, once you come out right? We did our inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, exhaled back. We stepped out to our plank. If this is challenging for you alone, a plank, you're gonna come to a modified plank, bending the knees and lifting the feet up. You don't wanna come into a tabletop with your hips hiked. You wanna find a straight line from your knees to your shoulders, even the head. From here, you can lower for a modified chaturanga. Tops of the feet come down. Depending on the flexibility of your back, you might opt to lift up into just a Sphinx pose. Maybe you lift up, supporting your head. If you're more flexible, you might come up a little higher. Eventually just coming into a cobra. Here in a cobra, what you want to make sure you're not doing is just collapsing in your low back. You want to really try to imagine like you're pulling your belly and your thighs off the ground, forcing the bend into the upper body, so you're getting more of an arch, opening the front. You should feel your belly and your thighs stretching and opening in a cobra more than you should feel your back compressing. So if you're comfortable in a cobra, you would do an up dog. From here, depending on whichever combination of those modifications, variations you chose, you would go up and into your down dog. For a lot of us, again, tight hamstrings and calves. That means bend those knees. Try to keep your ears by your biceps if you can. Don't sink into your shoulders here, collapsing into the shoulder blades. Really reach your hands into the mat, reach your shoulder blades back. Reaching the tailbone up into the sky, bending your knees however much you need to accommodate for that. Heels can still actively reach down, but they don't need to touch the floor. Again, if this is complicated for you, you can come down on your forearms, or you can just opt for a child's pose. No teacher's ever going to be mad about that. From the down dog, you inhale, you look at the front of your mat, and you walk forward. You jump forward. However you want to get those feet to the front of the mat, you do that. Once you're here, you almost reverse back to the beginning. You inhale halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. As you exhale, full Uttanasana, a forward fold. Next inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms up, and exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. So we'll go through that a few more times. I'm going to do less and less cueing with each round, so eventually, like I said, you can start to find your rhythm. So we'll start again at the front. Exhaling into your Tadasana, firm foundation, everything in the body's active to find neutral. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute, arms reach to the sky. Keep your belly active and maybe do a slight back bend if you'd like. Next exhale, you fold forward, dropping your hands down to the mat for Uttanasana. Bend in the knees if you feel it in the back. Next inhale, coming to Ardha Uttanasana, you straighten your spine. Tailbone reaches one way, top of the head reaches the other. As you exhale, those hands come down to the mat and you step or jump your feet into your plank, whichever plank you're doing, whether you're here or you're here. As you exhale, you're going to lower for your chaturanga. Again, whichever chaturanga you choose, whether you're doing it with your knees up or down. You'll come up into whichever chest opener you'd like to do. Sphinx, Cobra, Up Dog. Next exhale, we're lifting those hips up and coming into our down dogs. Toes turn over, heels reach down, little bend in the knees and the hips reach up. With our next inhale, we look forward, step or jump those feet back to the front. Come up halfway, tailbone and head reach opposite directions. And yes, that's all in one breath. It does go faster than I speak through it. Big exhale, Uttanasana. Just relax into your forward fold. And as you inhale, windmill, reach those arms all the way up into the sky, Urdhva Hastasana, maybe a slight back bend. And as you exhale, ground into your mountain pose. Continuing again, inhale up, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, drop those hands, step or jump back to your plank or your modified plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale to your Sphinx, Cobra or Up Dog. Exhale to your Down Dog or your Child's Pose. Inhale, walking or jumping those feet to the front, coming halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Next inhale, arms reach up into the air, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, by your sides, mountain pose, Tadasana. Do it a few more times. Big breath in, arms come up, Urdhva Hastasana. Big exhale, down to the mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana, straight spine. Exhale, drop those hands, come into your plank of choice. Lower for Chaturanga. Next inhale, coming up into your chest opener of choice. Next exhale, lifting those hips into the air, Down Dog. Next inhale, we walk forward and come halfway up for a half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. And as we exhale, we fold for Uttanasana. Inhale all the way up into the air, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale to our sides, Tadasana. Let's do that one more time. Big breath in, arms up and into the air. Big exhale, down by our sides, Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale up. Exhale, step or jump back into your plank. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, Cobra, Up Dog or Sphinx. Big exhale into your Down Dog, hips into the air. Next inhale, we step or jump to the front of the mat and come halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. With a big exhale, fold into Uttanasana. And with your next inhale, arms come up and into the air. And with an exhale, by our sides. Good. So go ahead and rewind this video back until we start wherever you feel like you need the most cueing. Play through it a few times. The more you practice it, eventually it's gonna come extremely fast. This can be excellent to warm up the front and back of your body in the morning, before work, before a workout, just to start your day with some good energy. As you can tell, my heart is racing, so it got me a good boost of energy. If you ever had any questions of sun salutes, I hope this video cleared it up. If not, leave a question in the comments below so I can do a follow-up video providing even more information on that. Stay tuned for more videos.